rhythm cells, in essence, are little pieces of music that build the different rhythms that you can play in any of the drums that you can see on a screen. In a way, we can see them as Lego pieces that we combine to create bigger structures, like the rhythms that you can play in all of the drums. In percussion, the rhythm cells are built basically from the combination of musical figures. In this case, we're gonna work with the quarter note, the eighth note, and the rest. Let's see now which rhythm cells we can build just using quarter notes. We're gonna play in a setup of 2 beats. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So the first rhythm cell that we can play is the one in which we're gonna play an accent in the 1 and an accent in the 2. And it's gonna go like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. When we play repeatedly, we go from the rhythm cells to a rhythm, and it's gonna sound like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. In the first beat, I'm gonna play an accent, and in the second, there's gonna be a rest, and it's gonna sound like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Again, if I play repeatedly, we go from a rhythm cell to a rhythm, and it's gonna sound like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. In the first beat, you have a rest, and in the second, you play an accent, and it sounds like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So if you play repeatedly, like the 2 that we played before, you go from a rhythm cell to a rhythm, and it's gonna sound like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. The 3 rhythm cells we just played are basic rhythm cells. They are named as basic because we are playing always the same combination of musical figures and rest. So let's move on and see what happens when we start combining the rhythm cells. First of all, when we do that, we're gonna move from basic rhythm cells to complex rhythm cells. The complex rhythm cells, what they do is combining different rhythm cells to build a rhythm. So the first one that we're gonna play combines the first basic rhythm cells, that was accent in the 1 and the 2, with the second, that is accent in the 1 and rest in the 2. So because we are adding 2 rhythm cells of 2 beats, we're gonna move on into 4-beat structure. So it's gonna be accent, 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 rest, and it's gonna sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The second complex rhythm cell that we're gonna play is gonna be built in this way. In the 1 and the 2, I'm gonna have 2 accents. In the third, I'm gonna have a rest, and in the fourth, I'm gonna have an accent. Yes, so I'm combining the first basic rhythm cell with the third, and it's gonna sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So let's try now to play this rhythm cell over a rhythm and see how it sounds. So I'm gonna start with the first one. Yes? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. and 4. Accent in 1, 2, and 4. And it's gonna go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. So let's move on now and see what happens when we add a menor rhythm to these rhythm cells. So we're gonna start simple. What we're gonna play is the first rhythm cell of all, 1, 2, accent in the 2, but we're gonna play in this way. We're gonna play the first accent as a tone in the center. Yes, if you have a djembe, a cajon, or a bongo, you look for the low sound. Yes, and then the second accent is gonna be played as an open. So the same, you do the same with your drum. Look for the high pitched sound. So it's gonna sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. An interesting thing about this particular rhythm cell is that depending the instrument that you are playing and the musical context in which you are playing, you can play two very different rhythms. So first we're gonna play the same rhythm, pa, tu, over a cumbia ensemble. And it's gonna go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're gonna move to the cajon, and we're gonna play over a rock ensemble. So we can play a rock with the same pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The first basic rhythm cells we're gonna play using 8 notes is gonna go in this way. In the first beat, I'm gonna have 2 8 notes, 1 N, and in the second we're gonna have the same, 2 N, and it's gonna sound like this. 1 and 2 and 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 1. Second rhythm cell is gonna go in this way. In the first beat, I'm gonna have 2 accents, 2 8 notes, 1 N, and in the second I'm gonna have a rest, and it's gonna sound like this. 1 and 2 and 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 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. The third rhythm cell that we can play goes like this. The first beat is gonna have a rest, and in the second I'm gonna play 2 8 notes, and sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 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 1 and 2. The fourth rhythm cell that we're gonna play is gonna go like this. In the first beat, I'm gonna have an A note in the 1, a rest in the end. I'm gonna have a rest in the 2 and an accent in the end of 2. And it's gonna go like this. 1 and 2 and 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 1 and 2. And the last basic rhythm cell that we're gonna play using 8 notes is gonna go in this way. In the 1, I'm gonna have a rest in the 1, an accent in the end, an accent in the 2, and a rest in the end of 2. And it's gonna sound like this. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So in the first one, we're gonna play like this. In the first, we're gonna play 2 accents. Yes, in the 1 and the end. The second is gonna be a rest. So the first part of the rhythm cell is gonna be the second rhythm cell I taught you. And in the 3 and the 4 we're gonna play 2 accents in the 3 and the end, and 2 accents in the 4 and the end. And this one is gonna be the first rhythm cell I taught you. And it's gonna sound like this. 1 E2 E3 E4 E1 E2 E3 E4 E1 E2 E3 E4 E1 E2 E3 E4 E1 E2 E3 E4. So the second complex rhythm cell that we can play is gonna be built in this way. In the first beat, I'm gonna have an accent on the 1 and a rest in the end. In the second beat, I'm gonna have a rest in the 2 and an accent in the end. The 3 is gonna have a rest in both. And in the 4, we're gonna have 2 accents in the 4 and in the end. So basically we are combining the 4 cell, yes, rhythm cell, the basic rhythm cell number 4, with the third basic rhythm cell of 8 notes. And it's gonna sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So let's see now how this rhythm cell sounds over a rhythm bass. It's gonna go like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I'm gonna go into the second. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2. Let's move on now and see how you can apply all the things that I taught you to rhythm learning in your drum. So to do that, we're gonna play 2 sets of rhythms. One set that's gonna be 1-bar rhythms, and then we're gonna move on to 2-bar rhythms. In this case, in both groups, what we're gonna do is gonna play rhythms that combines rhythm cells both from quarter notes and from 8 notes. The first rhythm that we're gonna play is the rhythm of Panalivio. That is a Afro-Peruvian rhythm that you can play on the cajon. So you're gonna play the following. In the first beat, you're gonna play 2 accents in the tones, low note hits. In the second beat, you're gonna play again 2 accents, and then you're gonna play 1 accent in the third, in the top of the cajon, and 1 accent in the 4. Yeah, so it's gonna sound like this. Let's move on now to the 2-bar rhythms. The first rhythm we're gonna play is porro. This is an Afro-Colombian rhythm. So you're gonna play this. In the first bar, you're gonna play accent in the 1, 1 accent in the 2, 1 accent in the 3, and 1 accent in the 4. It's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, like the first rhythm cell, the basic rhythm cell number 1 in quarter notes. And in the second bar, you're gonna play the following. In the first beat, you're gonna play tone and open. In the second, you're gonna play open, open. In the third, you're gonna play tone, just 1 hit, And in the 4, you're gonna play open. Yes, it's gonna be 1 E2 E3 E4 E1 E2 E3 E4 1 E2 E3 E4. So let's see now how it sound over a porro ensemble. 1 2 3 4. The second two-bar rhythm that we're gonna play is a samba reggae rhythm, and we're gonna use the tumbadora. So again, we're gonna have 2 bars. So in the first bar, you're gonna play. In the first beat, just a tone, yes, just one accent. In the second, you're gonna play 2 opens. In the third, you're gonna play a tone again, and in the fourth, you're gonna play 2 open. So it's gonna be 1 E2 E3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 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 and 4 and 1. And in the second bar, you're gonna play the following: first beat, a tone, 1 accent. Second beat, a tone again, 1 accent. And in the 3 and the 4, you're gonna play 2 accents in each. 3 and 4. 3 and 4 and. Yeah, so the second bar is gonna sound like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So let's see how that sounds over a samba reggae ensemble. 1, 2, 3, 4. So to close the video, let's work together in the creation of some rhythms to play over the samba reggae and samba we used to practice before. So the first rhythm that we're gonna play is gonna be built like this. We're gonna play a tone in the first beat, 2 opens in the second, 2 opens in the third, and a tone in the fourth. And it's gonna sound like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So let's see how this rhythm sound over the samba reggae ensemble. Let's create a second rhythm. In this case, we're gonna create a 2-bar rhythm, and it's gonna go in this way. We're gonna play 1 tone in the first beat, 2 opens in the second, 1 tone in the third, and 2 open in the fourth. So it's gonna go like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. And in the second bar, we're gonna play tone and open in the first beat, open open in the second beat, tone and open in the third beat, and open open in the fourth. So it's gonna be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So it's gonna sound like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. let's see now how that sounds over the samba reggae rhythm. So this is the end of the video. If you like it, please subscribe and leave a thumbs up. I see you in the next video.